Mortgage foreclosure schemes are a big problem across the country. Who protects you from folks who would rip you off? Here to talk about it are Lori Maggiano, a foreclosure prevention expert with the Department of Housing and Urban Development, and Naveed Vazir from South Brooklyn Legal Services. Welcome to you both. Naveed, let's start with you. This is a virtual epidemic out there. Why?
Well, it's a combination of rising foreclosure rates due primarily to subprime lending and rising property values.
Lori, what would you say?
Jerry, borrowers are scared when they're unable to make their mortgage payments, and they just don't know what their options are.
Lori, okay, I want to start by showing you a map of the foreclosure hotspots across the country. The big states here, Nevada, Colorado, Connecticut, this is an epidemic of foreclosures. You can see just how serious this is. Lori, I want to start with you. What types of scams are going on out there?
Jerry, we're seeing three major types of scams. The first one is sort of a fee for service, where a company convinces you that they have some experience or inside track with your lender, and they can negotiate a deal that you can't negotiate on your own.
That sounds crazy on the face of it, right? I mean, you could get in there and do it yourself.
Absolutely. That's the first thing that borrowers need to understand, that they need to contact their lender immediately if they can't make a mortgage payment.
What are the two
Lenders
other scams?
do want to help.
Yeah. What are the two other scams, Lori?
The two others are a sort of what I call refinance roulette, where someone comes in and convinces you that the way to get out of your mortgage problem is to refinance again. But because your credit's already impaired, you usually get a higher interest rate and a higher payment, and it just delays the inevitable. But the perpetrator gets high fees for the refinance.
Okay, Naveed, let's talk about what you're seeing on the ground, because you're actually talking to people who are being scammed in the field. What are the come-ons out there?
Well, people who are in foreclosure often are solicited within days by these so-called foreclosure rescue experts who are usually after the deeds to their houses and are after the equity that they've built up over decades.
And show me, let's talk about these brochures, the flyers, everything that's out there trying to, trick people into working with them. Talk about what those look like. We're seeing some right now.
Yeah, well, they promise to get people out of foreclosure. They often make some allusion to the community in which they live and something about preserving the makeup of the community. There may be even religious references. Yeah, it's really quite outrageous.
Yeah, and the come-ons look pretty appealing. Lori, are there laws out there to protect people?
Well, there are laws to protect people. However, most of those laws are basic consumer protection laws. There's nothing specific to mortgage delinquency fraud.
Naveed, do we need more on the books?
We may need more on the books, but really what we need is more law enforcement. We need regulators and law enforcement agencies to start taking the problem seriously. This is a massive epidemic of theft that is destroying communities.
Lori, should consumers take some responsibility here as well?
Oh, absolutely. Consumers have lots of information available to them. There are many reputable websites. www.fha.gov, for example, has lots of good information whether or not you're an FHA borrower. So educate yourself about what your options are.
Lori, thank you. Naveed, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it. Now, if you are worried about foreclosure today, the best step is to call your lender directly. Tell them your difficulty making your mortgage payment and ask for patience. The truth is, most mortgage lenders don't want to own your home. Marketing it and selling it costs them thousands of dollars. By asking for help early, you may forestall foreclosure. So pick up the phone and call the loss mitigation department at your bank.